Hi there folks, my name's NovaWrap and welcome to the NovaWrap, your one-stop location for your simulation release news and goings on from the week that was. So here we are for another exciting episode on Sunday the 19th of May 2019, and we're going to kickstart with an omission from last week's episode. So, and you know what, I'm going to slightly blame the fact that, ED kind of ninjaed this on everyone and blindsided everybody on this one. Because they kind of usually do like a whole huge lead up and hype building exercise, aka, the F-16, before anything even surfaces about details about the product. Whereas in this case, the release of the DCS module for the I-16, the Polikarpov I-16, literally they just dropped a complete aircraft on us out of nowhere, and we all kind of got blindsided by this. So, what is the I-16, the Polikarpov I-16? So, Polikarpov I-16 is basically a giant noisemaker. So, on a side note, the I-16 I have a particular love for it, and my dad has a particular love for this aircraft because it is just so goddamn noisy. I was very fortunate a few years ago to actually be in New Zealand at the Wanaka Air Show, which is on every second year during the Easter period. And the particular year that I went was the year that a particular New Zealand entrepreneur, Sir Tim Wallace, had actually completed a bit of a project for his Alpine fighter collection, which is based at Wanaka, where somehow he discovered the wrecks or remains of 6 I-16s and 3 I-153s, which is basically the biplane predecessor to the I-16. They were found in Russia. He found them and was like, I want to rebuild these, all of them, to flying condition. So they were restored, flown, then crated up, brought back to New Zealand. And the year that the project was completed, or the year after the project was completed, and their first major public outing was at that particular year's Wanaka Air Show. And it was just an incredible feeling an incredible sound to actually be there as you get overflown by these 9 monster M24 radial engines, and they're just so noisy. But yeah, anyway, it's really cool. So as I said, I've got kind of a bit of a soft spot for it just because of that. Long story short, basically the I-16 was I'm pretty sure it was one of, if not the first, it was one of the first Russian designed and built monoplane fighters over the interwar period. From prolific aircraft designer Nikolai Poplikov and his design bureau. And it was actually, it leveraged off, as I said, many of the lessons learnt from the previous I-15 and I-153 biplane aircraft, including retractable undercarriage, and many of the engine capabilities of future the aerodynamics. So it's a very interesting aircraft. It went through a variety of different versions. I think something like 40 different variants were produced over its lifetime. This particular rendition is of Type 24, which was one of the most prolific variants of an aircraft that produced, I think, upwards of, I think it was over 10,000 of the aircraft. The aircraft was produced during the Second World War. And ironically, actually, interestingly enough, it would continue to serve post-war as well as part of the Spanish Air Force. It's an interesting little tidbit. It was primary use, it was obviously the Soviet Air Force, but it also found use in the Spanish Air Force, and also found use in the Chinese Air Force for the nationalist Chinese. So, very interesting. This particular rendition includes a very highly detailed 3D model, a fully interactive cockpit with fully clickable and all switches and systems modeled, including full realistic simulation of all aircraft systems, including electrical, fuel flow, engine, and lighting systems, as well as a full implementation and modeling of the mechanical landing gear retraction system. Full set of high-definition authentic liveries are included as well. Bearing in mind, like many of the aircraft, its cockpit is only available in Russian because, funny enough, it is a Russian aircraft. However, the radio and documentation is available in both English and Russian. Now, at the moment, this is Technically early access, though from the word on the street, looks like it is basically finished. I just don't really see what is actually going to be modified moving forward, but it is technically early access at the moment, coming in for $40 US or the original equivalent, available now from the DCS World store. Alright, with that one out of the way, let's move into our releases for this particular week. From SimArc Studios, with their release of their rendition of Faisalabad International Airport, which is the major international airport, or one of the major international airports for Pakistan. It's particularly probably the Faisalabad of the Punjab province. It also serves as a dual purpose airfield as well. It's not only does it support civilian operations, it also supports military operations as well. Now, this rendition is as the airport as it appears during 2018, including the final terminal upgrade being completed and inaugurated that year as well. Various international long-haul routes are included with this, are operated from this airport. Now, this airport contains a high-detail rendition, including high-quality ground textures, dynamic lighting, full implementation of PBR texturing and PBR glass texturing on glass and smaller objects as well. Full implementation of SODE content, including SODE jetways and SODE windsocks as well, with 2K textures and some baked shadows included as well. Now, obviously, as you can probably guess from the mention of PBR there, that this one is available for Prepared V 4.4 and above, and it looks like it is exclusive to 4.4 and above as well. So if you are a older version of Prepared user, unfortunately you will miss out of this one. But if you are wanting to pick this one up and add it to your simulator collection, this one's coming in at $16 US or your original equivalent, available now from SimMarket. And another scenery release, and this one's probably it's got a bit of a Australian political sort of criminal history twinge, this one. So this is Palma de Mallorca Airport in Spain, funnily enough, which services the island of Mallorca. Now, my comment at the start was there was a very famous case during the 80s and 90s of a fugitive from Australian justice who was able to live the life of a king, as it were, in Spain on the island of Mallorca. So, yes, it's a bit of an interesting thing there as well. However, this airport is a highly detailed model of the airport, which is, again, just like we saw with the previous airport. The previous release is a joint civilian and military use airport, so being used by both civilian operators and also by the Spanish Air Force. This is a rendition of the airport as it appears during, again, it looks like 2018, and it includes full high-definition modeling of all major airport buildings, includes high-detailed ground textures for the various taxiways as well as the surrounding airport grounds as well. Full implementation of the visual docking guidance systems from SOD and GSX as well as full use of high-resolution ground textures and custom runway textures. Custom models of the buildings and hotels along the coastline are included for plenty of points of reference for any visual flyers as well. Also includes a wide range of custom animated ground vehicles, a custom autogen for the surrounding towns as well as many, as I said, points of interest modeled accurately as well. Also includes animated SOD jetways are included as well, along with a full range of night effects, and 3D models and effects are included as well. Now, no mention, sorry, I do apologize, there are PBR materials used for most of the 3D models, and textures are included as well, so great implementation of that. And as you can probably imagine from the fact, once again, that you've got PBR there, again, this is a 4.4 and greater exclusive release from the guys at Just Sim. So this one's coming in at $25 US or your original equivalent, available now from SimMarkets. Continuing on with another scenery release for the ESP platform, the guys over at Orbix have been busy, and they've released their rendition of CAE-3 Campbell River Water Aerodrome. So this release is this little aerodrome, or rather waterdrome, is a airport that's at the mouth of the Campbell River, just north to the city of the same name. It's home to a variety of helicopter operators as well as being a home for various seaplane operators. It was apparently named the busiest seaplane base in the world during the 1970s. However, these days it is obviously a bit more relaxed. Now, you get all of the Thai Spit Township is actually included as a model, as well as all the various helicopter buildings and helicopter operated and their associated docks. City of Campbell River, so is the North Campbell River shoreline is also included. Nice buildings and dock with various static ships are included. Power generation stations. A whole slew of other features are included here as well. So it looks like there's a lot to explore for not only for people wanting to go out and explore the PNW region, but also plenty for helicopter enthusiasts to be able to go through and explore as well. And the screenshots, as always, look absolutely amazing. Now, this one is a release. It's come in for an awesome price as well. It's actually been released to the community for free from Orbix, so it's always great to have a free product from them. And now you can grab this one via your FTX Central. Now, just a word on compatibility of this one, which is kind of interesting on this one, is that the compatibility on this is limited to only 2 of the ESP platforms. So Prepared V4 and Prepared V3. So it was interesting. I do note this specifically because this is the first time I've seen them release a product which is compatible with 32-bit sims, which is not compatible with FSX. Now, I know that there are the number of people who are regularly using FSX is declining, but it is just an interesting thing to note that this is the first time that that I can recall that Orbix has produced a non-prepared V4 exclusive product that has not been backwards compatible with the entire ESP range. So, just something of interest to note. But as I said, either way, can't beat the price. It's absolutely free. So there you go, available now from Orbix. Moving on with other ESP releases this week, this time around with the Captain Sim 777F Freighter expansion. This one. So this is, of course, the release from there. They've had their 777 around for a while, but now they've come out with the Freighter expansion, as they do after hot on the heels of their 200 series expansion. This one includes the full highly detailed rendition of a 3D model of the freighter variant of the 777, the 2-engine long-haul airliner. Again, it modifies the virtual cockpit slightly to bring it in line with the actual setups and performances of the freighter variant. Includes the full highly accurate renditions of the GE90 1110B1 engines that it actually utilizes. It also includes, not only does it include an updated flight deck, it also includes a variety of wing views. They apparently wanted to highlight that it includes a lavatory and courier area. Not exactly sure what that is, but anyway. Also includes an animated loader for the main deck, and the lower deck is included as well, and a variety of other animations, both internal and external, are included as well. Ships with the default sort of Captain Sim house livery, but various liveries are of course available as well. Now this does require the 777-200 base pack to be included, and this is at the moment a prepared V4 exclusive. Don't believe there are any plans at this time to actually roll this out over onto the legacy platforms. So for this time being, it looks like it is going to remain a prepared V4 exclusive. And if you want to pick this one up, as it does require you to own the base pack already. Otherwise, if you want to pick up the if you do want to pick up the freighter expansion, normal regular price is $30 US, though it is on a launch special at the moment for $20 US available now from Captain Sim. Continue on with another aircraft release for the ESP World. The guys over at Aeroplane Heaven, they've been quite busy over the last sort of year or so with their release this week of the Cessna 140. Now, the Cessna 140 is kind of an interesting. So if Cessna do one thing really, really well, they do stable, reliable trainer aircraft really, really well. And it's a legacy and a history that they've had for many, many years going back. And the Cessna 140 is no exception from that. So this is an aircraft out of the late 1940s. And followed on from their highly successful Cessna 120 series. Essentially, what it did is it took the 120, very successful platform and design, upgraded the engines, it gave the landing gear a bit more strength, and basically made it something that was very simple, basic, and easy to fly and easy to operate. One of the interesting things is that when it came out in 1949, of course, there was very much an Art Deco revolution going on in sort of architecture and lifestyle, as sort of the way sort of things were being designed. designed. And this aircraft very much features that. It had the spats over the wheels, something that's sort of a holdout from the 1920s. That is, as well as the cockpit just looks very much like a car. Like it's sort of like it was like a 1950s, 1940s car driving dashboard is what it looks like. And yet it just works so well. Like it really, really does. Now, of course, included with this aircraft, you also get a very accurate, high detail 3D model, both internally and externally. A slew of detailed animations, including sprung steerable tail wheel for the tail wheel variant, and highly detailed operation, and including water rudders for the floats version as well. Although it is an aircraft that predates modern avionics, there is a sort of modern avionics suite in the cockpit. If you do hidden in the cockpit, if you do wish to be able to use that, i.e., if you want to cheat and use GPS, you also have a range of animated pilots and co-pilots and other passengers included as well, and a fully authentic stereo sound pack from the engine as well. So looking pretty cool, pretty awesome. Now, in terms of the versions to buy, now this is this is the same sort of setup that the Airplane Heaven did with the recent release of their HE111, and I expressed sort of appreciation, yet still have mixed reservations about this at the same time. So they've split their installers into two different versions. So they've got one for legacy 32-bit platforms, and 32-bit platforms and non-PBR 64-bit platforms, i.e. FSX prepared versions 1, 2, and 3, and prepared V4 up to and including 4.3. That is one installer, which is $30 US. You then have an alternative installer, which you can purchase, which is exclusive for PBR versions of prepared, which is 4.4 and 4.5. But probably, and that is the same price again. So, sorry, both of those $28 US each, if you want to get those. Or you can buy a bundle deal, which includes all versions are included, and that come at $35 US. So, as I said, when the 111 came out, I appreciate that they've got to differentiate the versions, but for me, it would have been a case of differentiate the versions at the 64-bit, 32-bit version, not at the PBR version. Like, I just think that's a bit. Anyway, look, as I said, I just have opinions about it, but at least they do offer the bundle package at a heavily discounted price. So I will thank Airplane Heaven for that. Now, if you want to pick these packages up in either of those formats, you can pick them up either direct from Airplane Heaven for the aforementioned prices, or pick them up from PC Aviator, Just Flight, or FS Pilot Shop, available now. Alrighty, moving out of the ESP world, moving into the world of X-Plane 11, and this week came the long-awaited release from Frank Denisi and Fabio Bellini of the Eiger Park 3D. So, these two developers have developed a slew of amazing content for X-Plane 11 over the last few years, and this is absolutely nothing nothing to snuff at either. So it gives you approximately 500 square kilometers of ground and territory in highly accurate 3D modeling of the Eiger, the north face of the Eiger. So the Eiger, of course, being the main mountain in Switzerland, which is over 13,000 feet high. Also included is two other main peaks, which is Monk and Jungfrau, so 13,500 feet and 13, both just over or around 13,500 feet. The Eiger, for you may not remember, some of you may be too young to remember, whereas in some very famous movies over the years. So definitely Google it or check that one out in your movie reference for the IMDb database. But anyway, okay, you also get all of the airports and heliports for the region are either updated or added into the X-Plane 11 database. You get two virtual airports included, which include grass runways in the Grindelwald and Lotterbrunnen setups. You also have 10 heliports included in the areas of naturalistic and tourist interest as well. All villages in the area have been reconstructed in 3D, with over 70 different types of autogen buildings have been included, as well as a variety of custom landmarks, including hotel stations and train stations and churches have all been included. Ski lifts have also, over 16 ski lifts have been included, rebuilt and included into the scenery. All railway stations have been included and featured with train train traffic as well. And all of the textures for all of the ground have been done in beautiful 4K with a high definition custom terrain mesh for all parts of the region have been included as well. Now, this is only done as a summer-only scenery, so there's not deep in winter snow. It is only in summer, which is pretty much when most of the time you'll be operating out of many of these strips anyway. So this looks absolutely outstanding. Definitely one for the rotor heads in the community here, coming in for $25 from Explain.org, available now. Continuing on with another X-Plane 11 scenery release this week. So this week we saw the release of from Aerosoft of Airport Cologne Bonn. So this was a sort of a readaptation of this airport from their prepared version over into the X-Plane 11 world. It comes with a variety of updates and renditions of the airport as it appears during 2018. So it's a highly accurate rendition of Cologne Bonn Airport, including high fidelity, highly accurate 3D models of all airport terminals, buildings, and other airport facilities. Includes a variety of interior models of the main terminal buildings as well. Full implementation of X-Plane 11 PBR texturing throughout all of this add-on, with multiple texture resolution sets included for being frame rate friendly. As I said, up-to-date runway and taxiway layouts as it appears at the end of 2018. Variety of ambient service vehicle traffic has been included, with custom road traffic around the terminal entrance and cargo area, which gives a bit more life to the airport as well. Fully compatible with AI traffic pages as well. It also includes a slew of ortho photoreal scenery for the surrounding airport, so the airport and the surrounding area as well, with over 1,000 square kilometers actually included in that ortho photoreal that you can download as well. So a lot of stuff in there as well. Also, fully implementation of all HDR lighting services, as well as a variety of static aircraft, and fully compatible with all AI traffic packages for X-Plane 11 as well. So this one is available now either from Aerosoft directly for $28 or your regional equivalent, available now. Continuing on with scenery releases this week, the guys over at Vertical Simulations are continuing on with their release of popular smaller airports for affordable price points, coming in with their release of Greenville Spartanburg International Airport. So this is a South Carolina airport, which is serviced by the smaller regional variations of various of the various mainline carriers throughout the US. This is a highly accurate rendition of the airport as it appears during the start of 2019. So these guys are really staying on top of how things are looking. All airport buildings are done with highly accurate 3D models, a full implementation of high detailed textures with custom terrain mesh for the airport and surrounding area as well. Full implementation of a variety of PBR texturing and dynamic and HDR lighting, with the implementation of ground rain effects, full support for World Traffic 3 and other AI traffic options, as well as implementation of 4K textures throughout, and also satellite imagery of the airport and surrounding airport landscape as well. So a lot of stuff in here for a really decent price, available from the guys at Vertical Simulations, $18, available now. Moving out of the flight simulation world and moving into the world of the permanent way, the guys over at Train Simulator 2019 saw a release this week. The release this week of the PRR DR64 2000 locomotive and Broadway Limited passenger carriage services. So this pack here brings to life the distinctive Baldwin DR64 2000 passenger Shark diesel train, along with its flagship passenger service, the Broadway Limited. So the train was born of the sort of post-war diesel locomotive sort of boom of locomotive travel throughout the United States, and designed a very distinctive designing of that sort of shark nose, very Art Deco style, sort of that's coming out of that austerity era of the Second World War, moving into the 1940s and 50s. These come through as we use system-wide throughout the train's operations, from coast to coast, and for multiple different liveries throughout the thing, primarily on with the five-stripe Brunswick green passenger livery as introduced, and then went on to other Brunswick green and Tuscan red scenario colors. Towards the later parts of their life, they would actually move on into the New York and Long Branch, which is part of New Jersey's Transit North line, at the moment as their computer service, but as I said, that was their last assignment before being retired in 1965. In terms of the rolling stock that's fitted to this, the Broadway Limited, this is apparently, it comes as one of the most famous passenger train options. This was employed on the New York to Chicago route before air travel made that just a couple of hours long, that route. And it was their main, there was PR, Broadway's main operation there, and mainly competing against New York Central's 20th Century Limited services. The Pennsy had their flagship re-equipped in the 1949 with this new service. I'm going to go through with a variety of very distinctive cars and car types, including their distinctive BM70 baggage and mail car, their 10.6, 442, 12.4, and 21-room sleepers, combination sleeper lounge car, twin-unit diner and kitchen car, and the famed View series of bedroom lounge and observation cars. So, pretty interesting part of American railway history is portrayed in this add-on here. Now, along with the train and its associated rolling stock here, which includes, as I said, the highly detailed rendition of the DR6 2000 passenger shark cab and booster locomotives, includes 4 authentic liveries for the train. Full implementation of a full set of the post-war Broadway Limited car, including 9 car types, as well as a full implementation of realistic cab and interior controls and design 3D models of the internal and external of all rolling stock featured, and the train featured as well. Also includes 4 career scenarios are included, which do require you to own the horseshoe curve route in order to make use of, to be able to sort of relive some of the glory days of this train in its glory days. Now, in terms of the cost, this one's coming in at a pretty standard price, coming in at $20 US, or the original equivalent, available now on Steam. Moving from mass transit and moving into farming. The guys over at Farming Simulator 19 had a pack release this week, coming in for the absolutely brilliant price of free too. So this is their Holmer Terra variant DLC pack, which includes which is a fully licensed and authorized series of vehicles and attachments from Holmer, Annaberger, and Zunhammer. They've obviously got to be European manufacturers no matter what they are. So this includes 2 new vehicles and 6 new attachments. Includes the Holmer TV 435 system vehicle and Zunhammer TV 16 cubic meter slurry tanker, Holmer TV 585 system vehicle, Annaberger TV manure spreader, a grain auger wagon, beet auger wagon, both from Holmer, and Zunhammer's slurry tanker, slurry booms, and slurry injector. They sound absolutely diabolical, don't they? But as I said, there's additional content available for free, thanks to guys at Focus Home Interactive and Giant Software. Available now for Farming Simulator 2019, available now on Steam. And continuing on with simulator releases this week, and it's a simulator of a different kind. And it's I really like this. Okay, so this is Surviving Mars has come to the end of its planned content releases this week, with releasing 2 new pieces of content. So the first one we saw was a release of Project Laika. Project Laika is basically them, for those who don't know who Laika was, by the way, Laika was the first dog into space. So the Russians strapped a beautiful female German shepherd into a capsule and sent her into space and to conduct science experiments. Sadly, Laika did not survive because there was not sufficient cooling and air conditioning in order for her to be able to keep her cool. So she did sadly pass while in orbit. But yeah, she was the first animal into, I'm pretty sure the first animal into space, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, as this content here, it gives you, brings you 25 different pets that you can actually bring across for your various colonists to bring with them on their trips to the Red Planet. You also can actually breed up to, it also includes the animal farm expansion for your domes, and to allow you to breed up to 8 different farm animals on Martian patches, including cows, chickens, pigs, and more, including a llama. Always got to love llamas. So this content is available now as a standalone content if you want to add this one in for $6 US. The other piece of content that came out this week was Green Planet. So Green Planet was the last of the major expansion, as I said, well, both of these are the last of the major, the planned expansion packs for Surviving Mars. which came out a couple of years ago now, and I remember us covering her on this show briefly. So it includes the Green Mars is for me very reminiscent. I don't know if anybody else read the Kim Stanley Robinson Mars trilogy, but it's very much sort of very reminiscent of that for me. And essentially allows you to do a whole slew of new decisions and new technologies to be included now, new special projects and terraforming buildings to actually be able to change the actual home, like the surface and the terrain of Mars to actually, so you can live outside of the dome, as it were. So yeah, it's kind of interesting with this one. It's a whole sort of things, but it also includes some interesting sort of social commentary here as well, by including climate calamities as well. So you may sort of find that if you push too hard, too fast to be able to get stuff, you may end up biting you in the proverbial. So kind of cool, kind of interesting, and really great way of actually presenting it. So yeah, really cool, this one. If you wanted to pick this one up, coming in at $20 US, this one. Now, for those who may have purchased the deluxe version of Surviving Mars when it first came out, or pre-ordered it, all this is actually included. So it was included as part of the season pass, as it says. So the season pass included all of the planned content up to and including Green Mars and Leica. So anything after, if there are any more contents come for Surviving Mars, it's all uncharted territory after this. But this was all of the content that was planned. So if you weren't a season pass holder or a early purchaser of Surviving Mars, you will have to buy this one. Otherwise, if you were a purchaser of that, you would just be able to open up Surviving Mars. It'll be available now. It'll be included in your install. Available now on Steam. And with that, folks, that does now wrap up the NovaWrap for this week. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget, as always, to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these videos and want to see more. And of course, as always, you can catch up with me and all the things I'm up to between videos by finding me on Facebook and on Twitter. Just search NovaWing24. Alright, folks, thanks very much for joining me. Take care, take safe skies to all, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.